People's quote of the day: you look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. You play good, they pay good. They pay good, you live good. You live good, you thank God for it all. You are now listening to episode 6 of the People's Mentors podcast featuring Juan Pablo. DJ Cool, play a feel good instrumental, please. Okay, we're back. Today's topic of discussion: dress for success. So today I'm going to go over these 4 points. Number 1, professional dress equals more confident decision maker. Number 2, the halo effect. Number 3, no one will believe you if you don't look the part. And number 4, people will have more confidence in you. The people's question of today is, how do you get private money? That's how this question came about. I was hosting an event and one of the attendees asked me that question: how do you get private money? And I said, simple. You tell everybody you're a real estate investor and look the part. Everywhere you go, whether it's in a gas station or a networking event, you shake hands, you rub elbows, you have a conversation, and you simply tell people that you're a real estate investor. Now, if you look the part and you also speak it, many people will believe it. And the next thing you have to do is just be able to provide that person with assurance that you are a real estate investor and that you're an upstanding citizen. You're not going to take their money and run, and they'll be willing to invest with you. So of course, there's more than that, but that's what sparked today's topic of discussion. So a personal experience of mine is rebranding. So many of you guys are familiar with the YouTube channel 100% Finance. And I've probably shot over 800 videos for the YouTube channel, just being very, very, very consistent with recording video because I greatly enjoy it. And I want to be able to be the people's mentor and provide people with value. But being that I speak a lot about real estate investing, many people had reservations. I would see the comments: this guy can't be a real estate investor. Number 1, he's young. Number 2, he's dressed in a t-shirt with a rusty chain on, and he's wearing some blue jeans and some sneakers. I didn't look the part. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I can look however I want to look because I'm a real estate investor. There's no dress code for me as a real estate investor. But to the public eye, they didn't perceive me as credible. And so I knew a real estate agent, a young lady, and she told me in conversation that she would always try to combat her youth. And I asked her, what do you mean combat your youth? She said, well, I'm young in appearance. So when I try to list a property worth more than $400,000, I always dress professionally and I rent a car, a luxury car. And I said, well, why do you do all that? Because when people see me as youthful, and let's say I'm in plain clothes and driving an average car, many people don't perceive me as a successful investor or real estate agent in that case. They see me as an inexperienced real estate agent, and being that I look like an inexperienced real estate agent, I probably won't be able to sell their house. So to combat her youthful appearance, she will strategically dress in a fitted suit, custom suit, tailor-made. She will also rent a luxury car so that she can win the listing. Okay? So I want you guys to always be thinking about that, how you look, because you have to look the part. So let's get into the topic. First thing, professional dress equals more confident decision maker. So currently I'm writing a book, guys, and I was doing some additional research. And the research that I found was when you dress professionally, when you step it up a tad bit, you become more confident in your decision making. By you simply, a shout out to my fellas right now, and by you simply wearing a suit and tie, a 3-piece suit, or maybe just a sports coat with a collared shirt, just dressing a tad bit more professional makes you more confident in your decision-making process. It's crazy. So just looking the part has an impact on your decisions. So if you want to be confident in your decision-making, you have to dress professionally. And by the way, that's one of the 2 most important traits of every CEO. Number 1, they have to be trustworthy, transparent. Your team can trust you. Number 2, you have to be a decision maker. No one wants to follow a leader if they're always switching their mindset on things. They find security they find confidence in someone who makes a decision quickly and sticks with it. So if you want to be a CEO, a real estate entrepreneur where you have people working for you, you have to make sure you dress the part. Number 2, the halo effect. What's the halo effect? Well, studies shown that people who are more attractive, i.e. looking good, tend to make more money. Now, being attractive doesn't mean that you were just born pretty or you won the genetic lottery. It can simply mean that you take care of your body through diet and exercise. You wear nice fitting attire, not baggy clothing or dirty clothing or super tight clothing, but decent fitting clothes, tailored if possible. If you can afford to do so, get your clothes altered. And also being well groomed. By just having a good body, good attire, and good grooming, you can be perceived as more attractive. And when you're more attractive, people are attracted to you, not just from a physical standpoint, but from a business standpoint. And from that quote that I got today was from Deion Sanders. So if you look good, you will get paid good and live good as a result. Next step. No one will believe you if you don't look the part. I remember I was in church one day and I was listening to one of the pastor, and he made mention about how he gets approached by aspiring business people all the time to do business with him. And he says the first thing he does is he looks at their shoes and their fingernails. And he said if they got crusty, dirty looking fingernails as well as beat up old shoes, he thinks to himself, well, if this person's trying to partner with me to do business, even though he has a good business plan or even though she is talking the talk, but if she doesn't look like she's walking the walk, which is predicated by her appearance, i.e. she doesn't look good, then more than likely this person is unsuccessful. So if this person is unsuccessful and I am successful, then why would I want to partner with that person? Successful people want to do business with other successful people. So if you're interested in partnering with people who are successful, as I mentioned earlier, you want to partner with someone who has private money, you have to make sure you look the part. Otherwise, that private money lender won't believe you. 4th step, people will have more confidence in you. Your parents will do all of the selling. So I'm with DJ Cool, and I met with DJ Cool in his brother's office. His brother is an insurance broker, and his brother has several nice cars, foreign cars, luxury cars, and the like. And so I met with Doug in his office and asked him for a ride, pretty much, because I've never been in a foreign car before. And he looked at me and he said, oh, are you tired of riding that piece of out there in the parking lot? And mind you, I drive a Mercedes. And I looked at him like, huh? Excuse me? Like, what are you talking about, trying me up like this? Don't you know who I am? I'm the people's mentor, man. You better watch yourself. And I asked him, I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, let me tell you one thing, Juan Pablo. I'm a business person and you're a business person. So as a business person, Juan Pablo, and a real estate investor, do you raise capital? I said, yes, I do. He said, okay, great. Do you also do events? Yes, I do. Do you also perform coaching for students? And aren't you an author? I said, yes. Yes to all that. You know this stuff, Doug. And he said, okay. So when I was a salesman, before I became a business owner of an insurance brokerage, I had to learn every sales technique in the book in order to win someone's account. I would go in there and say this line, say that line, use every strategy in the book. He said, however, when I start pulling up in a Bentley, the car did all the selling. In other words, he looked good. When he drove up in that Bentley, people perceived him as successful because people equate success to luxury items. A person who's driving a Bentley, despite looking at their credit score or their balance sheet or how much money they have in the bank, their bank statements, you automatically perceive that person as successful. Whether they inherit that car, won it through a lottery, you don't know the background. But if you see a person pull up in a Bentley, automatic credibility. Before they say one word, sold. Now, you might be thinking, well, Juan Pablo, I'm not that shallow. Of course, I'm going to do my due diligence on that person. Yes, you might be a prudent person. But there's several people out there, they will only judge you based upon appearances. Some people judge a book by its cover. That's just how it is, right? That's why I had to come up with that old adage. Don't judge a book by its cover, because so many people do. But one thing I got from Doug's conversation is, despite how credible you are, even though you might not be flashy, even though you might be very humble in your appearance, some people will have reservations. So what I want you to do, my friend, is still remain humble, still be down to earth, but there's nothing wrong when showing up to a business meeting or opportunity and just looking the part. That's what I got. Now, not to say you have to go out there and spend your last dime to get a nice looking vehicle. I'm not saying that by any means, but just at least look the part. Just be decent and presentable enough that you look like money. If you look like money, you will get more money. Okay? Excellent. There you have it, my friend. So now we're going to switch segments in this program. You know it's that time for the People's Champ. Shout out to Hans. Hans is potentially one of the newest members of the 100% Finance team. He expressed interest in our company. He's desperately trying to get into real estate, and he also would like some personal development as well as a paycheck. And that's one of the things we offer at 100% Finance. We're all about our team members developing on a personal level as well as on a physical level. So I say shout out to Hans because he came into one of our team meetings in which I was speaking about personal development, and he came in a nice suit, and I was very surprised by that. So he did look the part of a successful salesperson. But not only that, he's also interested in improving his appearance where his weight is concerned. So he says, I'm doing my best to watch my diet, get in the gym so that he can look the part, so that he can look good, feel good, play good, get paid good, which we pay people good here at 100% Finance. So he can live good and thank God for it all. So shout out to Hans being a huge proponent of just looking the part. And by the way, guys, you might hear me say several times on the podcast about health a lot. And I use that a lot in my analogies because out of all the arenas of life, whether it's spiritual, financial, relationships, physical, and any other arena of life, you're only as strong as the weakest link. So if the weakest link out of all those arenas of life is your physical, then by all means, you got to work on your physical. Because if you're on a spiritual journey or if you're working on your mental aspect of your life, it'll be hard for you to have the energy if you're eating Doritos and not exercising. Because you won't have the mental clarity, the alertness, or just the stamina to keep going. Shh. Listen up.
Let's get this money.
This podcast episode is sponsored by 100% Finance. If you're interested in getting started in real estate investing without using any of your own money and would like to obtain business funding, visit 100percentfinance.com to apply for the free consultation. In 2017 alone, we helped small business owners, real estate investors alike obtain over $5.5 million. And you can be in the same position as well. So you can quit your day job via passive income. The link is in the description. So now, my friends, we're going to conclude this podcast. Last word of motivation. Even though you want to look good, you don't have to do it at a premium. Okay? I want you to understand that. If you're just getting started into business and every dime that you receive is going towards your business, I get that. I was in the same position. But what I want you to do is just look good. Look good doesn't mean wear expensive things. Okay? You can look good. You can go to the Salvation Army or the thrift store and you can get a suit. Just get a tailor. Because that's all that matters. Honestly, it's just the fit. Not necessarily the brand. It's the fit. How well it looks on your body. And just stay well groomed. If you can't afford to get your haircut every single week, maybe get your haircut twice a month. And maybe if you get your own set of clippers, you can give yourself a lineup. Just so as long as you stay great, just as long as you look good in regards to your grooming, your attire, as well as your body. Now, you don't have to go to an expensive gym, get a very high membership, but you can do some workouts from home. And that's what I do. I do home workouts, 30 minutes a day, 6 days a week. And I watch what I eat. It's very simple, guys. So you don't have to break the bank just to look good. But if you look good, eventually you will break the bank because they will pay you good, whether it's your tenants, whether it's your clients, whether it's your customers. They will pay you good when you look good. So as always, guys, this is to your success. Continue to earn passively, live passionately. Peace.